throw your life away on, with Andrew Reed and the Liberation. It's a serious question, one worth pondering. Am I living the life I want, an intelligent life, or something else? How can I have a better experience of life? These are some of the questions explored in this series of messages without the brag and the advertisement, getting beyond even human institutions and society, into the wilderness, nature, the reality of how life actually operates on this planet. These messages range from intimate recordings from the awakened forest to concerts, national conferences, and broadcasts on a wide array of philosophical topics. Your beliefs are limitations. Okay, in this message, we confront really this reality that our beliefs, that is our view, our perspective of the world, limit us. And I'll just say this, it's a spontaneous message. It just happened. I wasn't meaning to make a podcast at the time. It just came out. I was at the GameHaus, winding down at night, playing my record player, stereo, retro with big speakers and everything that actually push air, and enjoying myself. And this just came out, and I started to walk towards the church that we're building. Again, the Church of Reconciliation, of recognizing the duality in life. And so most of it came out as I was looking out across the pond in this natural amphitheater, observing nature. Perhaps this is the first sermon on the Mount, or in this case, the mountain, which is probably a very fitting message. And I like the fact that it's organic in nature. But hopefully this sets some people free. And I know it's a shocking message. It's a dangerous message. It's a scandalous message. But it's an idea that merits some consideration.
Being beyond beliefs is truly a dangerous position. It makes you a dangerous person to society. To even have the gall to temporarily suspend one's belief, to embrace or at least consider alternative opinions, because this world is full of opinions of how to live, is dangerous. Yet, it's something I highly recommend. And I say this knowing that relatively few people will ever embrace this. Because it is scandalous, because it does depart with the norms or traditions. But beliefs, so often it's a competition of the real battle in humanity, which is that of moral superiority, where one lords over others, deems some inferiors, and others, usually themselves, as the superiors, which I find this a vain enterprise at best. I'm moving up to the church now as it's being constructed, just to look out upon nature, the truth. And perhaps people get a bit tired of me referring to nature. But it is the master teacher of how this planet actually operates. I look at the forest that's been pushed back so we can have audiences here in this natural red rocks of the Appalachians amphitheater, and I see the scars of the big Hungary forest fires, all the charred remains. I think of the devastation and all the trauma we've been through this last year, from Helene being cut off for 6 months, only to have a fire sweep through us and burn most of my neighbors' properties and everything. In a way, we all build our own holy grounds. I'm building this church because I can't be outdone by Voltaire, just because he had his church to the invisible, unseen God. I've got to have my own counterpart, just because I do admire one of the most, at least 5 brilliant brains to ever grace this planet. But take a look at Voltaire himself, how he challenged virtually all the belief systems. He recognized that the writing even of history was very suspect at best, that there is much bias and interpretation involved. Yet he spent many years doing that, as well as advising, top governments of different sovereign states, participating in the arts, from music to comedy to the whole thing. There's a fully actualized human being, in my opinion. And what else would be expected from a genius? But the fact that Voltaire challenged belief systems, and Emerson in the American platform of beliefs. And again, we have more, poets and writers, obviously, from America now. Again, how many really capture the spirit of this country, I don't know. But Emerson, Whitman, there's a few that definitely did in their day. Perhaps the first. But both and all could look into nature and see that this was the truth, and proclaim boldly that I am, and that the God or the intelligence behind this creation is in us and surrounds us all the time. And with these rough electric shocks to bring us to our senses, that we have it all. And all we have to do is embrace it in a godlike way. And that's a scandalous thought to those that seek to have moral superiority, or superiority, period, over you with their dictates. I say it is sound wisdom or advice to question the commands of almost everybody, to seek if what is called good is truly good in your eyes. That's your responsibility in life. As a unique particle, as no two things are alike in this grand globe, your only option is to evaluate things from your particular vantage point, because no one else has that position. The fact that no two snowflakes, no two particles of dust, no two anything are alike. The person in the next pew doesn't share exactly your beliefs. Gives us some insight that somehow you are to shape your own beliefs and interpretation of the world. And if you have courage, and to live accordingly to those insights. That is a scandalous thought. And leads, obviously, to a scandalous life. The thing is that beliefs limit us. That any belief you have basically sets boundaries. If you believe the world is flat, well, then you are not going to venture out into the ocean for fear of falling off, because fear is what holds human beings back. Right? So in a way, we're all bound by our beliefs. And the question is, can we have the courage and the intelligence to expand our beliefs about the world, about the universe, about the way things operate, about God? Can we look beyond and say, maybe what I've been taught has good merits, and I respect it, and I will hold it in reverence, but yet I must go my own way and cast my own interpretation of life and the way I see it. And the point is, you do it anyway. That is the default. You don't even have a choice, that you form your own opinions of the world. And know that 100% of the opinions of people on this planet can be wrong. If everyone believes the world is flat, that doesn't make it true. Or if everyone wants to believe that there's not such a thing as gravity, they're wrong. So opinions are no basis of truth. Now I say all this, and I don't mean to be preachy. I'm not preaching at anybody. I'm not trying to make converts. All I'm trying to do, perhaps, is just to bring people to themselves and their own powers, to their own thinking. And in that, we can have some advancement. And that there will always be the fools, the poor, all those that complain and play the victim card in this world. Your job is to become strong, to become educated, to become self-reliant. That's your responsibility. And there's no shortcuts. You have to pay the full price. You have to pay the full tuition in this world. There are no shortcuts. But it's a price worth paying. And then to stand on your convictions. And then through some elevated consciousness, know not to, try to agitate people or to cause commotion or anything like that, because that's all low consciousness, those people that become angry just because people don't agree with you. And there's other episodes that talk about the levels of consciousness and how you can kind of size up where you are relative to this arbitrary scale. But have acceptance of all people's views on some level, at least in a sophisticated intellectual discussion. To at least be able to temporarily suspend your prejudices about things. And we all have them, whether we want to acknowledge that or not. But to where we can wipe the slate clean, hear ideas out, and then say, this is where I stand. Or you can say, that's a good idea. I think I'll adapt some of that. That's not such a good idea. That's like stupid. Or silly, as I like to say, because I don't want to call anybody stupid, yet they exist. As do the brilliant and the smart. So, beliefs. The beliefs that we hold limit us. All beliefs limit us, in fact. And the question is really, at the end of the day, can we get beyond belief? I think that's in the place of God. As this infinite, expansion into the unacknowledged, the unseen, the intangible, from which all things in the tangible world come into existence through ideas and visions and all that. There's a job. And our beliefs have a great deal to do with those ideas and those visions. Are you artificially limiting yourself through your belief systems? Maybe that is the real question. And I know this idea of seeing even our beliefs as limitations is a scandalous idea. Yet, it's one worth exploring. Because as you know, what are you willing to throw your life away on? Because we're all doing it every day in every endeavor. Is it worth your life, whatever you're doing? Is it where you want to go? All this is an attempt to bring us to ourselves.
Thank you for listening. If you need anything further, just go to mvi.life.